Hi everyone, long time no talk. We have a beautiful sunny day, cold but it's sunny. Of course for the rest of the country it's really cold. We're cold but not like back east. But it's cold for us and we're kind of wusses when it comes to that. I thought I would just kind of do a little crafting while I chatted, so that's why I call it a craft vlog, and kind of let you know different things I've been up to, and decided to get back to work here as well. So I am working on this journal. This one is Faded Floral, and it's just lots of lines. I'll probably stamp the lines, and I can show you how I do that. I can do that one right now. Okay, so I got this piece here from, I don't know, it was in packaging. It was already like this. I didn't have to peel any paper off. But you can peel off cardstock or corrugated box, right? And that's what I did for this particular one. This was my first one that I did. And all I do, well, I didn't do it, but I'll tell you how to do it easy. Spray the top, like spray, the part you're going to peel. Spray it with water and let it soak in a little bit and then peel it off. And you'll get this nice corrugated. Then what I do is I take like a decoupage or a Mod Podge, and I take my nails and I run them along here like that, to sort of thin out that cardboard, and then I'll go over it with decoupage. I should have done 2 coats. I only did 1. I would have preferred to have done 2, so I kept this piece because I think I want to do it again. Anyway, that's another project that I'm not doing right now. I have this one. So I drew a line and measured the width of my pages in general. And that way I can sort of line up an edge, like if I wanted to stamp on that, I would line it up here. That way I'm getting the line straight and then rub it. So as you can see, this is dark. It's the ink has stained it. I always use a archival ink, or you can use Stays On, anything like that that's waterproof, because you don't want your lines to smear across your page. So like I say, a couple of coats of decoupage on there. I like this as a hand, something you put your hand on so you're not getting all mushed. And then I simply take my ink, and let me pull out a page first. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, instead of blabbering on like I tend to do. Okay, so just, kind of a light, I don't push hard because I don't want dark lines. The harder you push, the darker it'll go, and that's completely up to you. Now, what I will do is sort of lay it here so I can get an idea. I drew a line up at the very top. You can't see it anymore because of the ink, but just to sort of make sure that all my pages are kind of lined up. I don't know, it's an OCD thing. It's really not necessary, but it's something I do. So then, if you want it like fully covered, go right to the edge, but generally I kind of like it not perfect, if that makes any sense at all. And then I just simply, I don't push too hard because I don't want to crush my card. Just like that. And then you get nice faint lines. Let's see. Oh, sorry, the sun's in the way. Can you see that? I think you can. Let me change my new blind. That's good. And I'll just move my light a little closer. I got so much junk, as usual, on my desk. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so that's what I do. I might as well finish it. But it's a pretty easy process. You know, it can be a little messy. Okay, now, if you want it the same, well, it doesn't matter. I went all the way to the bottom, so it doesn't matter. I'll just lay it on the spine here. Oh, I just did it twice, didn't I? What a dork. Oh, well, it lined up perfect. That's a fluke. Okay. Let's try that again. Wow, that was actually pretty funny. This is the way I wanted to do it. So, a little update on my keto lifestyle, if you like. I told you guys that I've got my husband on it because I do all the cooking. He's a very good helper, though, I have to say. Now that he's retired, it's wow, it's awesome. He's kind of my sous chef. He does all the chopping and stuff for me, which is wonderful. Especially eating this way now, because we do eat a lot more vegetables and good stuff, which, have to be honest, we weren't, we weren't healthy eaters, really. And I feel like the keto it's perfect for me. I really love the food that I've been making, and so is my husband. And I feel better, healthier, and you know, I've told you guys before that I don't lose weight easy, and that is the honest truth. It's always a challenge for me. But what I did was sat myself down, gave myself a good talking to, and asked myself why I really started the keto. And the answer is, I really need to lose weight, yes. However, I want to feel good. And I needed to get my mind in the mode of, if I feel better, the side effect will be weight loss. So I'm not going in it as weight loss and then feeling better. I want to switch it around in my brain and tell myself that, you know, this is important for my good health. I'm not a young woman anymore, and you know, I have to get real. So I'm down 8 pounds, and it, you know, that's slow for most people who do keto. Do it way faster. I think my husband's lost probably 25 to 30 pounds in a couple of weeks. And he'd already had a good start on weight loss just by cutting back on food and going to the gym. But he hasn't been to the gym in a couple of weeks because they think what he did was burst a blood vessel right in his elbow there. And his elbow went like massive, and it's awful. And his bruising doesn't show like typical bruising from white skins like me. I show a bruise like right away, but he's fairly, like, he's, how can I say this? His pigment is dark, that he tans really, really dark. And I think because of that, he doesn't show the bruising right away. And so we didn't realize what was going on. He just couldn't lift his hand to his mouth. Like he was in a lot of pain. And it was super swollen. And so because of that, well, we went to the emergency because it wasn't getting better. It was kind of getting worse. And at that point, didn't know what was going on. So that's what the doctor said at the emergency, is you've broken a blood vessel and it's deep. So he hasn't been to the gym and yet has dropped oh, I don't know, in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's probably close to 30 pounds, which is amazing, and I'm so proud of him. And he's only maybe 20 pounds away from being at his goal weight. So he's super pumped, which I don't blame him. I would be too if it were me. I'd be dancing a jig, even though I don't know how to do one. I'd learn. Anyway, he's doing really well. So, like, I'm not unhappy about my progress, really, because I know that things are starting to feel looser. I got into a jacket. I wore the jacket part, the shell, but I couldn't get into it with the lining, and now I can. So, obviously, changes are happening. And for me, like, this is long-term. This is not a diet for me. This is permanent. This is something I have to do for life if I don't want to get fat again. And because I have so much to lose, it's going to take time, and I just have to learn how to be patient. And I guess for me, it was, you know, there's a few side effects apparently when you're on keto for some people. Not everybody gets them, but like I didn't get the keto flu that everybody talks about and how horrendous it is. I never got that. What did I do with the paper? And like I said, I think it's because I was already kind of low carb anyway. So cutting out sugar wasn't a big deal for me because I pretty much already had. Yeah, so it wasn't huge. But I did get what they call, well, you can get like a diarrhea or you can get like constipation. Well, I had both, you know. I started it with one and ended it with another, and then I was back to normal. So that will disappear as your body gets used to eating vegetables that you're not, maybe you have problems digesting. And for me, it was just adding, you know, the proper minerals to my diet. So I had to supplement with some potassium and magnesium and stuff like that, which is good for you anyway. So, and then we started drinking bone broth every day, and that's so good for your hair and your nails and your skin and all that stuff. But of course, that takes time for effects to show as well. Like, it's not an overnight thing. And a lot of people give up after about 3 weeks because they don't feel good. And, you know, they're going from, it's like going from 0 to 90 overnight. And that's maybe not a good idea for some people. You might have to take it a little bit slower. Just start by cutting back on your carbs. You know, don't eliminate everything in one go. My husband, I'm trying to think now, if he didn't really have the keto flu, but he didn't feel wonderful right away either. So maybe he had it a little, but not enough to make him quit. Or I just added extra carbs for him because he's a man, and he was eating what I was eating, and that's not enough. Like, he's a big guy, like, you know, he's almost 6'5", so, and I'm like 5'1", so I don't need as many calories and stuff as he does. So I think that's what he was feeling, was more run down because he wasn't eating enough food. And then I made him eat more and also eat banana every day. Even though it's fruit, I don't do the fruit yet. I will add berries to my diet later, but I wanted to sort of get the first 20 pounds off before I start doing that. Because that 20 pounds will probably take me 6 months to lose, which is okay. I think my anxiety level was so high because, you know, we're leaving on holidays in just over 2.5 months. And you know how you do that, ladies. It's like, oh, I gotta get in a bathing suit, I gotta diet, you know. So I think I had that sort of mentality, and yeah, that wasn't healthy for my brain. So I went through a little bit of a depression. And typically, I'm a pretty upbeat person. I do have my moments, like everybody, and but normally they last a day, tops. This lasted 3 days, and I and I really found it difficult to get out of it. Well, then I found out that that is another symptom of keto. So that was kind of encouraging because, you know, things are always better when you understand the reason why they're happening in the first place. And so that, you know, I got myself out of it and just decided, you know, I was going to make my mind up to do something right for a change, you know, not start it and stop it and tell myself I'm a loser and I can't do anything, and, you know, because that's what I do. And a lot of people that know me don't understand that I'm like that, because I don't present that person to people, and so they're surprised when they hear it, because I'm a fairly confident person most times, right? But anyway, like I say, got myself out of it, and I do feel better, and I had over a 2-pound weight loss in a week, which was really phenomenal for me, and because I hadn't lost anything in about 3 weeks. I was just hovering at the same, you know, and that's kind of typical of keto. So you might have like a huge weight loss at first, but that's generally speaking, it's water loss. And for me, that's not what happened, because, like I say, I'd already been on low carb for a while, so I didn't have that water loss, so mine was definitely weight loss. And so that was actually, if I looked at it that way, that was pretty good for me, because in a month I lost 6 pounds. So then in 5 weeks I've lost 8 pounds. And that's really good for me. If I can manage to get another couple of pounds off this month, you know, that's 10 pounds. Hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. So, yeah, I know. And so then I stopped watching videos for keto and people going, oh, I lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks. I'm like, shut up. Even though you're happy for them, you're like, yeah, I don't want to hear that anymore, right? So I stopped watching them because, yeah, it wasn't good for me mentally to do that. Mine is going to come off in its own sweet time, you know? And, yeah, I just have to live with that. However, still enjoying it. Like, really, really am. It's not even a joke for me. And it's not temporary. It's great. I'm really pumped that I feel good, you know? So that's kind of been something I've been up to. What else have I been up to? Not a whole lot, really. I haven't been in my craft room, except I did this bag. And what did I do with the rest of them? Oh, okay. So this was the bag, and I made it smaller. So how I did that was I took my spray bottle and I just put water along here and along here. And you just kind of rub it in and try and get it underneath the part that lifts up. And let it soak. So I'll let it soak. And then I'll pull it all apart. And then I'll shorten it. And I re-glued it. So, you know, trimmed it off, re-glued it. And the reason I did that is because I want it on a page. Now, if I did the full one, it's really too wide for my pages because it would get stuck. And so I wanted to narrow it because I don't like mine going this way. I prefer them going this way. Then I put a piece of, did I use cardstock? I might have used cardstock. Slip that in and then put it in my big, I have a giant, I'll show you. One of these. They're huge. And it came with my Big Shot as a free gift. And you can do it either way, this way or flip it back, although, I mean, it says you can, yet it's cracking, so I think cheap, you know, but you get 2 patterns, right, if you do it that way. I really love this one, which is what I used on here. But because after I had done it, I think I think I tea stained it first, let it dry, and then I ran it through. But even when you do that, it does flatten a little bit. So I just rubbed it with some of this wax by Prima. This one is the bronze. Just to, you know, to show that there's an actual pattern, although now it doesn't really look like a heck of a lot of anything. I'm thinking I'd like to put a piece of paper in it though, just to give it a little bit of color. So I'll probably just grab some scrap or something, and then what I want to do is I want to glue it to one of these pages, and like so that I can flip it up like that. And so you can still write, but then you got a nice little deep pocket. Put some big tags in it. Do I have big tags? I think I might. I don't know if I did big tags this time. Maybe. Yeah, that would fit. But it'd be nicer, I think, with like a letter, which I still might design for this, like I've done with the last couple of kits. I really love that idea, so I'll probably do that. Am I losing my light here, guys? I hope not. Anyway, it is after 3:30. I have no idea my clock's up. Oh, what time is it? Yeah, 3:16. And so the sun's going to start going down. Anyway, I also pulled these out. I think I'm going to put some napkins on these. And I might do some flips, which I didn't print anything out. I was thinking maybe book paper, you know? Put them in like this. I mean, it's not like I don't have lots, because I do, you know, like that. And then attach stuff to them, like I've been doing. So I'll probably do that. I pulled out a few sheets. These are already pre-done. I've done up this one. Actually says Betty Crocker on it. My pan. Kind of funny. So I'll likely do 2 per signature. And then I did this one a long time ago too. Coffee stained it. Did I already do one? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to have one in each one. And so these are huge. Where's my ruler? Huh. 8 3/4. I mean, they're really big. 5 3/4. So huge envelopes. All I did was fold it in half. And then once I got my crease for the halfway mark, I took my flap and I cut this out like a V, so that I'm going to glue that down, but it doesn't get a bulk up your spine when you sew it in, and it doesn't interfere with anything either. So I'll do that, and likely I will add, let's see, I have all kinds of scrap pieces of patterned paper somewhere. Anyway, I'll probably cut a piece and glue it on the top so that it squares off this side, and then it will be a tuck. So if you just glue down along here and then put your front piece on, then you've got that edge of the new piece to glue down here, and then glue this down here. And then you have a nice little pocket. And then on this side, what I'm going to do is slice this open a little. Maybe right open. Yeah, right open. So I'll do that right now. You know, I'm almost thinking I might get myself a personal size cutter, just the little ones. For stuff like this, I don't need my big cutter. And just take off just a smidge. And then I take a punch, and I like using the oval punch. I really don't like these things. They're annoying. I just sort of estimate, and I don't go all the way through both sides because I only want it to show on the one side. Just sort of eyeball it. I go down about halfway. You get a nice thumb hole. Like that. Yeah. And then on this side, I think I might stamp some lines on that side. And then you've got another journaling spot, but you've got double pocket. Yeah. Might add some trim on here too. Possibly. To this side. Thought processes. So I hope everybody's been doing well. Not snowed in. We're supposed to get some snow actually next week. We had a little bit of snow. I think it was like maybe a quarter of an inch. And I think a half a centimeter. It was pretty little. But it stayed because then it turned really cold, below freezing. I like that. Now I think I will put it close to the center. I might even put it in the center. Let's see. I think there, because then in here is an envelope. Now, do I have that already out? Printed? Or did I forget to print that? Nope, I have one. This little guy is going to go in here, like so. So I'm slowly getting my layout done. Got a couple doilies. Oh, the funny thing about the doilies I just discovered is on here somewhere. Right here. You can't see it, but it says Made in Canada. I thought that was appropriate since it's being made in Canada. Okay, so yeah, I've got alternating pages. I wanted to put some doilies. These are really big ones. I'm not quite sure where I got these. No idea. And then this will be a flip and stuff will be added. You know, like I've got all these kind of circles and, you know, that kind of deal. And then some tracing paper. And then it just repeats itself. So, and then of course you just saw the envelope, which will look quite nice. But you see what I mean? If you get that too close to the edge here, it's going to interfere with your fold. I learned that the hard way. But this will be a nice little pocket. And then you've got your envelope in the center, which will cover up some of the stitching, not all of it. I didn't do big ones this time. But I still have all kinds of stuff that has to go in, like this. I didn't separate them, so I should do that. Normally what I do is take all my stuff, right? And I separate it into two piles. And that way I'm not using everything in one signature and nothing in that second signature. And I also did these. These are just dollar store notebook stuff. And I just sprayed them with some tea. And I let them air dry. I didn't bake them. You can faintly see the butterfly there. So I want to add these as a little note flip. Not sure if I want to do it in like one signature, do something different in another signature. So those are just set aside for now. Then I have all kinds of ovals and circles that I've cut out. This all comes in the kit, although there might be more that I have because I think I printed an extra page, but I'll deal with those. Okay, so this one goes that way. We've got notes. There's 2 pink and 2 yellow, so I like to separate. There's actually more than that. I've got 3 of each. So we'll do that. Oh, and this is the big one. So yes, I think that's what I'll do. Put the note paper on in one signature and this in the other. And this is for the cards. So this just opens like that. And these little cards go in there. Now, I might not put all of the cards in there. I might just put 2, maybe. And then use the other 2 somewhere else. I believe these fit in here. Indeed they do. So that will go in one signature, and that will go in another. Then which way do I want that to go? I think okay, so I'll put those 2 together and those 2 together. Then I've got 2 extra cards. Then I have postcards, so we'll do 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. And then these are flips that will go on the, not flips, tuck spots. So I'll put 1 on each side. Now this has to go on a specific page, and this one goes on another page. So let's find the page. What is it? Roses and might not be in this signature. And I might have to swap it out. Yeah, I think I will have to. Because that'll mean they're in the same. Both of them will be in the same signature. So don't want that. Okay, so we have this here. So that glues on top of there like that. So you don't lose your page, but you end up with a nice tuck. And then that must be the back side. Yep, that one goes there. So I'm going to switch this pink page for a pink page in the other. Oh, did I just lay one on top of the other? Oh man. Hang on. I'll figure that one out. That's the one. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this pink one out. Put it in that one. This pink one in here. Oops. This way. Okay. That'll work. Come on. Ooh, I better put the lid on that. Before I stick my hand in it. Now I should have another envelope unless I have to print another one out. I might have only printed one. Yes, I've only printed one. So I'll have to print another one out. And I better not forget again. Whoops. Dropped something. What did I drop? Oh, way over there. I'll get it later. Okay, so make sure I've got the right amount of pages. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. Okay. I want to put that on there right now. Well, it feels like I haven't done anything for so long that I might forget how to do this. I like to do a little bit thicker on the bottom. That gets the most strain, right? I need some paper towel. Now, if it's over, just let it dry and then just trim it down. There. And that went here. Center. I don't know why this one doesn't, this one feels way thicker. I know I've got one other thing in here, but it seems thicker. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why there's 6 pages in this one. Did I not count 6 on the other? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There must be 6 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. Well, it's correct. Oh, this one already had the envelope. The other one didn't. Oh, that's what it was. It's this envelope I need to print. See, I designed it so that when you sew it in, you've got the picture facing you. And then you flip it, and it's an envelope. And I don't glue those until after I've sewn it in. So that's what it was. That other one was ephemera. That's how long it's been since I've been in my craft room. I can't even remember what I did. Okay, so that is that. I'll take this one out because that's not it. And I want to lay, I should do some book pages in here. I do want to trim that down though. I don't want them that wide, I don't think. a wee bit off this. And what did I do with the other one? Oh, there it is. They're very crinkly. Like that. That's better. Okay. Put both of these in this one. Work on this one. I guess I should work on the other one since I didn't do the lines on that one. That's what I'll do. One there. And then I've also started working on something else to put in the store. I had a lot of good ideas from people about the postcards, but I did complete the postcard pack. So I thought maybe I might do another vintage stuff if I can get enough ideas. And if you have some ideas, anybody who's bought the vintage stuff kits, one of the things I want to add is tabs. So I've been working on a pattern for some tabs that already have words on them. I'm going to show you. This isn't the final version. I'm changing this up, but it might give you an idea of what I was thinking. So I've got, 4 different words. I want to change the size of these a little bit. I did cut one out, as you can see, and I stuck it on here. But I think it's too deep, so I want to shorten them. And then I want to change the background paper too. I'm not super stoked about that. So it's a work in progress. But if you've guys got some ideas on what you'd like to see as it's general ephemera. If you've never seen my vintage stuff kits, just go to the store and take a boo. And what I've tried to do is just a neutral palette of colors, and they're anything from envelope style pockets to cutouts to postcards, just ephemera pieces. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in them. And so if you've got an idea of things you'd like to see, I think I've even got postage stamps and tickets and, so I've kind of run out of ideas unless I repeat and just change the pattern to them. I could do that. I'll likely have to do that if I want to make a kit big enough. Okay, this went here, right? And this one here. Yeah. Okay. So it's getting chunky already. Well, it's still, you know what it is? It's the, this, because it's poofy, so is the paper. It will flatten over time. It's really not as thick as you might think, but it puffs up. But I don't want to overstuff it either, and I haven't even added any of the ephemera in it yet. But you know, sometimes I can't seem to stop myself. Okay, so let's add, I'll do the right side here. Now this kind of thing I wanted to add on these plain pages. So you can still journal on them. You can still have tuck spots. Just like that. It dresses up the page a little bit too, right? Just don't know if I want it there. I think that's too much at the front. Let's put it back here. Yeah. Now, if I printed on the other side, I could leave that as a fold out, but I did not. So, I did not on purpose because I wanted them as tucks. But you certainly can do whatever you please with this kit. You can even cut them in half, so you've got 4 tucks. Then in the back, I want wrong spot. Guess I've run out of things to say. So you saw how I did that, right? So your ephemera doesn't slip out as easy as if you just did a little bead here and here. You'd have a big wide gap. Now you could put something like, you know, something on the bottom. That actually would look kind of cool. You know, something like that. And glue it here so that when you stuck something in it, it would hit that, not fall out the bottom. You could do stuff like that, you know. That'd be kind of pretty. Got the yellow one, actually. Yeah. I could still do that. But in the meantime, I didn't do it super wide so that it won't fall out as easily. It's still kind of wide. I probably will do something like that. That's kind of nice. And then I wouldn't use this one, I would use the smaller one, which I have loads of those too. You know, something like that. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Just wanted it on the page. And then, other one will go maybe on here. No, it's got to go the other way, I think. Wait a minute. Nope, this way. Yeah. So it'll go on this page. Oh, it's super windy here, which is why it feels so cold, because we've got a wind chill. It's actually above freezing right now, but it feels like it's 10 below. Vintage moss is getting smacked big time on Vancouver Island. She's in Nanaimo, and they're getting a lot of snow. That's actually where I was going to move, and then changed my mind. Well, we changed our minds. Why doesn't that fit right? I don't like the way that fits. Why? Guess I had it more. There. That's better. Yes. Hanging out the bottom a little, so I'll have to give it a little nip. And where are they buried? This one I'll probably put something on the bottom too. But it's getting late, so I need to think about dinner. And so that's it for today, you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.